Years old from Baton Rouge, only a freshman in high school this fall, and already Christy Phillips at the top of the gymnastics world after her experience here in Houston.
Well, I feel that the Olympic Festival is a really big meet, and I feel that if I do my best and if I accomplish my goals, then I feel like they'll rethink about what they were saying about it's not as big as a worldwide event, but really, in the athlete's point of view, it is. Any competition that you go to is important.
She likes swimming and water skiing and collecting gold medals. And Bart, she'll collect a bunch before she retires.
Without a doubt, and certainly on the balance beam. This was an exciting performance the other night in the all-around competition. She got off to a rough start on bars, but look at that. She did a tremendous laid-out backflip from a round-off. Excellent tumbling combination. She's exciting on beam because she does all the important acrobatic skills, and yet she's very smooth.
And she's just down the road from her hometown, so that crowd gets behind her.
Well, I feel that since the Olympic Festival is in Houston, that it's going to help all of the girls that train here in Houston. I think it's going to help them out a lot because they're going to have a lot of people, like their relatives or their family or their friends coming to see them and help them through the meet, you know. And then when the crowd gets behind you, you know, you're just like so, you know, just ready to go for it.
So poised for just 14 years old.
It's amazing how confident she is up there because she is doing, as I mentioned, all of the most difficult elements, and she just blasts through the routine. Look at that, a great side somersault. And now all she's thinking is, I got to nail that pike double back.
You know, Bart, she reminds me of Scotty Hamilton. When Scotty was skating, he always would work the crowd. She's got such an electrifying smile. Now, Christy says her favorite event, the floor exercise.
All right, Stuffy.
Well, my hardest event right now is probably bars because I've had a few injuries with my arms and I haven't been able to work them as much as I've been able to work the other events. I'm pretty good now, and probably my easiest event for me is floor right now because, like I said, it's my favorite, and whatever your favorite event is, it's usually one of your easier ones.
Another Bella Caroli coach product, Phoebe Mills, only 13 years old, second in the U.S., and a former speed skating champion.
I started gymnastics when I was about 4, and I was flipping around the house and stuff, and so my mom said, I better start doing something, because I'd break and everything. And so I started doing gymnastics, and I liked it, so, I kept going.
And indeed, she did keep it going, a 9.5 on this routine.
And this was a very critical performance for her in the all-around competition. She had some very difficult tumbling runs, and she totally nailed them.
Phoebe likes swimming and diving and speed skating, and I would assume eventually beating Christy.
Well, she was a very determined competitor here. Look at that concentration. She blasts into this full in. Perfect.
And you, of course, Bart, as a former competitor, know the advantage of a good start. Also the advantage of support starting with your family.
My family helps me a lot. My mom, and my 2 little brothers that came down here to live with me, and we have an apartment, and it really helps a lot there.
Now she's going to set up for her second tumbling run. This is a pike double back. You can tell Bella Caroli is going to ease her into it.
Look at the nerves on his face.
How could you not want to perform for a coach with that kind of enthusiasm?
How many coaches say, yoo-hoo?
Yeah, all right.
You can tell she was psyched because on the last tumbling run, she almost bounced completely out of the air as she does a double twist. And whoa, too much juice. She was really flying.
Bella does have a way of finding him with the same size and body frame, doesn't he?
And very explosive gymnast. That's what he's looking for.
How was I give up? Give up, thank you. Oh, that was amazing.
Lola Phoebe, she is probably one of the fastest growing American athlete, and I believe she's going to be one of the most successful around 88. It's her great advantage growing in this program. She was teammate with Mary Lou. She's teammate now with all the other ones who grow into great champions like Julia McNamara. And now they are in a great competition with Christy and pushing each other and competing against each other. And this positive competition, everyday competition, should make both of them going fast and very directly, and they have no day off. They're competing all the time. So that's exactly what I'll bring them up again on the high level of gymnastics, just like Mary Lou used to be with her great competition with Diane Durham on that time, 83, 82. Or Nadia, back in 1976, becoming an Olympic champion because her great competition with Teodora Unguriano, who was just behind her and pushing her and competing against. And finally, sure, these girls, and through this great competition, became excellent athletes and very high-level athletes. Where there is no competition, there is no progress.
19 years old, out of the University of Oklahoma.
Now, tonight's final competition is a little different than we saw in the all-around. The girls will be doing 2 vaults, but the vaults have to be from a different family, so they have to be completely different.
5 years on the senior national team.
Oh, too bad. That was a handspring tuck front, and she was just too short on the rotation. Nothing you can do.
Since this is a finals competition, each athlete will perform 2 vaults.
She gets onto the horse here. Her knees are a little bit bent, and she doesn't quite have the height or the rotation. And when your feet are out there, there's not much you can do to try and save that landing.
Do you know it when you're in the middle of the flip? Do you know you're not going to land well?
Yeah, you know that ground is awfully close. You don't know exactly where it is, but you know as you're flying through the air like, oh, baby, what am I going to do?
And you notice on the shot right there, the tape on that left ankle, you were spending some time. How bad is it?
Well, I think her ankle is actually okay, but your ankles do take a beating in gymnastics, and over, the long competition throughout the whole year, they do stay pretty sore. We noticed that she did a handspring front as her first vault. Now, that is not the vault that she used in the all-around competition. I expect now she'll do a laid-out Tsukahara, which is the vault that she competed. She chose to do that rather a different vault for her as the first one, and then finish up here with a stronger vault, the laid-out Tsukahara. Let's see if she does it. Okay, a little short of rotation on that layout Tsukahara, but that's the vault she used in the all-around competition.
She likes water and snow skiing. Her favorite event, the balance beam. Kelly Garrison with a 9.55 on Friday night.
She's not quite as high as she was the night before, and you can see she's a little short of rotation, so she has to take a step forward in towards the horse, and that, of course, will be a couple of tenths of a point deduction. Look at the look on her face as she blasts down this runway. She really has to muster up all the possible energy she needs, because she just looked a little tired, and she didn't quite have the spunk that she did in the earlier competitions.
There is Kelly Garrison, who has won this festival twice. With all the attention focusing on Phoebe and on Christy, I would imagine that Kelly's putting a little extra pressure on herself.
I'm sure she would like to win a couple of gold medals tonight if she possibly can.
Cindy Tom out of West Covina, California, 9.45 Friday night.
Okay, now that was actually a mistake, I believe. Cindy, I don't know what her vault was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be a laid-out Tsukahara. She got ready to straighten her body out. She actually tucked. You can see what happened here. There's a round off on. Now watch. She's supposed to keep her body straight. She tucks and then straightens her legs out. So it's sort of a half-tucked, a half-laid-out Tsukahara. I think the judges will hit her pretty hard for that. Let's see again. Right here, she bends her knees. She should keep her legs straight, as she does there, for the last half of the vault. I think she was a little confused.
Kelly Garrison averaged an 8.775 tonight, 19.325 overall, temporarily in the top spot. Second vault, Cindy Tom, age 14, from California.
Okay, now that's the vault that she was going to do the first time around, and she did it beautifully that time.
Cindy needs a score of 9.875 to tie Kelly Garrison.
The unfortunate thing with that first vault was that the tuck Tsukahara is not a very high difficulty rated vault. This one is much better. Perfect position in the air, nice high positioning, and a good